Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two French brandies. This one is from 1990. It's St-Rémy XO from Remy Martin. Remy Martin is the cognac, and they own the St-Rémy line, which is the French brandy made outside of cognac region. It was what's the name of that distillery? I can't say. I'd have to look it up. I could pronounce it. The Marshall, Remy Cointreau, USA. That's right, Remy Cointreau. That's the name of the company. Since 1886, they've been making St-Rémy brandy. It's in this dark brown bottle, very dark brown. It looks black on first glance, but if you let light shine through it, you can see it's dark brown. The competitor, ROC VS, introduced in 2018 from Diageo. There's a wooden disc glued onto the bottle. Lisa's Life Blogging Channel. What up, Ben? What up, Ben? You? What up, Ben? You? I've been eating breakfast. All right, hold on. Forgot to take my vitamin C. All right. Okay, that keeps the colds away. Let me update the information. I forgot it's Remy Cointreau. You spell it T-R-E-A-U. Got it. Okay, so the ROC VS versus the Martell VS was impossible. I couldn't tell them apart. I mean, it was like identical products. I mean, I know they're not, but in my amateur tasting ability, they were the same. The ROC VS versus the Martell Blue Swift, the VSOP aged in bourbon, finished in bourbon barrels. That one I was able to tell them apart a little bit, but it wasn't a huge difference, and it surely wasn't an $8 or $9 difference. Beer Hounds Beer Review says, "Good morning, sunshine." Yep, there comes the sunshine. B Aviation says, "Good morning." Good morning to you. So here we go, and away we go. C for Ciroc. Now, last night, as it was getting dark, but the sun was still shining across the street. I got this big tree line back here, and I went out in the backyard and I said, "Man, it's nice weather. I have some open dates coming up, or I'm going to have to do the review to make up for those days." And I did a rum, Cane Run. Used to be called Cane Run Estate, but now it's just Cane Run. Well, the bottle I have says Cane Run Estate. The same thing. The lighting wasn't too good. I might reshoot it, but it's kind of a different video, I guess. Everything didn't have to be the same. You can see light hitting my face. I was standing up. And but I don't know. Some people are going to complain it's too dark. It was something different. I didn't want to just sit inside doing it because I had done inside videos all day with my friend David, duos, and one earlier in the morning, and the weather was so nice and dry and unusually cool for mid-May. I said, let me go stand out there, and it was nice, I gotta say. But just once that, I mean, the whole yard be in the shadow with those tall trees. My friend David even said, "That's the biggest pecan tree I've ever seen in my life. That thing must be 200 years old. There's one back there." I said, "Yeah, I've never seen a pecan tree that big. It could be 200 years old." St-Rémy, because this was all plantations back here, in strips along the Mississippi River, from below New Orleans all the way up to Missouri, into Missouri. Plantations, and they were skinny, like a mile wide, if that. but maybe 8 miles deep. And we had, here was the New Era plantation, and then there was Bell Point and Sugar Ridge, and no, they had so many. Kenilworth, Ori. Even in my family, the Haydell plantation, Distillerie Français, depuis 1886. Ambrose Haydell was the guy that had the big plantation back in 1810, but we didn't get any of the money from it. But I guess, you know, they lost all of the money after the invasion of 1862. Where would you recommend moving into Louisiana? I've been looking into it. Moving to in Louisiana. Yeah, move to this parish. Oh, yeah, anywhere. Depends on what you want to live. Like, if you want to be in a city, the prices are going to be sky high, you know, because we've got this housing bubble right now. But there's some areas where the housing market is dead, and it'd be a good buyer's market. There's a house around the corner from me it's old. You know, it's in good shape, but it's old frame house, probably for the 1950s or older. And people want new. I want new. I want big. I want a McMansion and all of that. I want to go in debt and work my whole life to pay off this house I don't really need. Okay, so this one is dark. The Ciroc is dark. I put too much, I guess. Yes, a little bit too much. Not too much, but a little bit too much. And the Remy St-Rémy XO is not as dark. Now the St-Rémy XO is aged about 6 years. So you're looking at about 6-year age. VSB about 2 years. Now, if you want to live down toward the Gulf, you could find places out there, very isolated, probably inexpensive, or little towns down there like Cutoff and Jeans. I went ride a bike through Jeans one time, very rural. Golden Meadow, Galliano, St. Helena Parish would be it starts getting hilly over there. The Dixie Baseman says, good morning, Ron. I hope you have a blessed Ascension Sunday. Right, today is Ascension Sunday. Well, moved from Thursday. I'm predicting a win for Remy overall. However, with the price difference, it may not be enough to take the crown this time. Okay, price. I'm glad you brought that up because I had forgotten. Let me start mixing them up because I got a hard stop at top of the hour with the news, and I don't intend to miss the news. So price. I got the St-Rémy XO at Dorgnac's, and I think it was $17. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, $16.99. The Ciroc, I got it at, I can't remember which place. I'm telling y'all, I cannot remember, but it was $29. Everybody else has it $30 to $34. I was at Walmart yesterday, it's $34. Now, you want me to believe that Omar was a stoolie? Cause Sosa says so? You bought that line. No, you want me to believe that the Ciroc VS is going to be at least $12 better? Come on, man. I cannot see Ciroc VS being $12 better. Okay, it has a fancy bottle, clear glass, but you know the dark brown protects the product more. But then the St-Rémy has a pretty sharp bottle too. And I saw Reynal over at Trader Joe's yesterday for $16.99. Reynal VSOP in England is sold as 3 barrels. That's the real name of it, but there's some kind of trademark thing. Probably there's some other obscure brand in America called 3 barrels, so they got to call it Reynal or something. But I didn't buy it because I got a little bit of a back stock right now. But that's going to be the next one. I'm going to get the Reynal. So this is a pretty bottle. But you say, oh, well, Diageo, you know, they're going to upprice everything because they like the fancy pants, like big shots of the liquor world. You know, and they got Johnny Walker and Crown Royal and Ciroc. So everything's going to be premium and above premium price. You're right. Now, Remy Martin, St-Rémy Cointreau, I mean, that's pretty well known, so I don't know. But I guess the St-Rémy, I think it's Marchechouel distillery, they just say, well, they selling it for $14 to $17. Maybe that's what it really costs to make and sell and ship. I want to be like 5 to 10 minutes from the city, probably, but wouldn't like living in the city. B Aviation. Yeah, I mean, there's places close to New Orleans. I mean, like really on top of it, but not in the city. My friend David, perfect example. He doesn't live in New Orleans, but he's 2 miles from it. And I think, I don't know, I'd have to research it. I don't know if the prices on the west bank of the river are as expensive. You could probably get something in Tarrytown, which is next to New Orleans, for pretty cheap. But it's a housing bubble. I mean, you know, the thing's going to collapse. What's going to happen? You're going to buy a house, and then you're going to find out it's $100,000 more than it's worth, and then you're upside down. Because, like, I have a friend. She's a real estate agent. I said, can this thing keep going? She said, no, I don't think it's going to keep going. I think it's going to collapse. It's going to be a bubble, you know. Careful, Ron, using common sense. Dark bottles protect the product better, will trigger the liquor snobs. They got a lot of them out there. They are so funny to watch. All right. Don't mention the beer snobs. Okay. It smells basic. I don't know how to describe that necessarily. Just like distilled raisins. I don't know. All right. This one has a slightly wax aroma, and I think St-Rémy, they have some unusual aromas like turned fruit and stuff. But I really don't know on aroma right now. I can't tell you really. I drank 3 cups of coffee this morning. That's all I can tell you. That's all I know. Okay, let's go with the taste. Yeah. Sugar, spicy raisin. That's what these things taste like. Sugary, spicy raisins, dark raisins, you know, not the golden. Now, is that Ciroc or is it Memorex? I don't know. Now, yesterday, my friend David insisted that we do a whiskey review. I say, well, but we couldn't decide which one to do. I wanted to do 100 Pipers because we had never done a duo of 100 Pipers. But the third person that was with us was like, you know, she didn't want to do that one. I don't even think she ever tried 100 Pipers, but since it was in a small half-size plastic bottle, her thinking was cheapo. It is kind of cheap, but I think in a blind taste test, 100 Pipers can whip a lot of more expensive scotch. But oh well, you can't argue with it, you know. So David said, well, let's review this Old Forester Rye. I said, well, I'm game for that. I never had Old Forester Rye. Had an interesting mash bill and all, and rye, corn, and barley. And it was a very good product. Now, on the other hand, could it beat the other ryes I have? I don't know, because I never did a blind taste test. I didn't get the impression that it was that great. I mean, it was great. You understand what I'm saying? But not that much better than the others I've got. But it may be. I don't know. And it's going to be years before I get to it. So it's almost like a moot point to even talk about. I wouldn't buy them in my 20s. No, that's the time to buy a house, when you're in your 20s, because then you could start paying extra on the note every month, and then you could have it paid off when you're in middle age, and then you're not sitting there on that debt working yourself silly trying to pay off a debt. No, you do want to start early and pay it off. Now, we don't have free enterprise anymore, so it's much harder when you're buying a house and everything, because we got this government sort of, you know, that it's not a free enterprise system. So anytime you buy a house is a risk, much greater than in the old days before, say, about 1964, when you had free enterprise, and then neighborhoods were more, there was more of an ability to keep a neighborhood safe and sound, so to speak. Okay. People don't like to hear that, but that's the reality. And we deal in reality on this channel. I don't deal in sentiment. I deal in reality. I just deal with things as they exist. And some people, if they don't like it, I say, well, go ahead and come on this channel and challenge me. You get 30 minutes free reign, 30 minutes. I'll have a rebuttal. Okay. Now this one here that I just tasted, I'm glad to know I'm not the only person who got wax and raisins from these two drinks. Oh, okay. So see, it wasn't just me. Just bought some Johnny Walker Black Label. It was pretty much the first actual whiskey I bought. That's on my to-buy list, but I've never tried it, actually. Okay, so this one has the waxy, flatter taste, not as luxurious of a flavor, and it must be the St-Rémy. You say, based on what? I don't know, because it's $12 cheaper. And it tastes like what I remember. It's very good. Now, don't take this wrong. Would I recommend St-Rémy XO? I surely would. And there's a new product they've got. Look at their website. Well, you can't see it because they don't do screen share on this anymore. Used to. It's called St-Rémy Signature. It must have just hit the market. I've never seen it, but it's a new addition from our master blender, Cecile Rudeau. She wanted to shape a new face for brandy by exploring new production processes and new aromas while continuing to respect St-Rémy traditions. So I'll have to read about that. It's some kind of the way they finish it and age it. Okay, it's in a fancy, different type clear glass bottle. Bet you it ain't $17. Okay, but we'll deal with that another time. But it looks really nice, and I would buy it if I saw it. At the next time I needed to buy a brandy, which means no time soon. Oh, yeah. See, that St-Rémy will have sort of like a dates flavor, like dates. It's got more of a Mediterranean flavor. Well, they both could be by the Mediterranean Sea, because Ciroc, I think, is from around the Mediterranean area as well. The aging of liquor amazes me. It's crazy to think what was going on in the world when it was distilled. I know. It's the whole thing is fascinating, but you don't want to drink too much or you're going to get too fascinated. And I pour too much. Not on purpose. I suppose that the Ciroc VS is better. Now, I watched some videos and people were talking about how rough it was. Oh, it's rough. It's hot. It's harsh. I was like, no, it's none of those things. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I didn't see that. I just did not see there was any roughness. To me, it's very smooth. So I don't know where that was coming from, but that's what anyhow, that's what they thought about it. I think Ciroc VS is like smooth, mellow, mild, no roughness, no harshness, no nothingness, except deliciousness. And I can't wait to try the VSOP and the XO when those ever come out. So I don't see it where you could complain, but you know, we're all different. One big diverse family. And I believe in diversity more probably than the people that claim to believe in diversity. Well, I'm going to call it and say this is Ciroc and it's better. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be embarrassed, but it ain't the first time. But ha ha, ha ha, I'm not wrong. It is the Ciroc. and the Ciroc is better. So do you sometimes get what you pay for? Sometimes, and sometimes no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. In this case, well, I guess the Remy Cointreau people are going to be coming after me, but I'm sorry. I got to call it like I see it. I don't think it matches up to the Ciroc. Ciroc is the new kid on the block, and the Ciroc is taking names and kicking the behinds. So great job, Ciroc VS. Sorry, St-Rémy. You're going to have to do a little bit better to compete with the new big boy in the brandy world. Well, next time we come around for a Dawn Busters, it's going to be a Spanish brandy coming into play, the Fundadora Solera. So thanks, and y'all have a great morning. I'm going to watch the news.